Yeah, Houston, Houston, we have a problem. Actually, we don't have a problem here, Houston. I'm involved in another conversation right now, so I'll get back to you, Houston. Hey there, friends. I'm pretending to be an astronaut today. Can you tell? Yeah. So I have a question for you. Have you ever been to the top of the world? No, you've not never been to the top of the world. I don't even know where the top of the world is. Have you ever been on a skyscraper? A really, really, really tall building? Yeah. How about on a top of a mountain or a high hill where you can look out over? How about on a hot air balloon? Yeah, I'm asking you these questions because I'm wondering if you've ever seen the big picture, looking down from something from on high, just like being an astronaut. Can you imagine being an astronaut and being in outer space and looking out the window of the space capsule you're in and seeing the Earth from a distance, and you're seeing things that you never saw before? It's just like when you get onto the top of a skyscraper, and it's maybe you're looking at an observation deck and you're looking out over the horizon and seeing a lot of things that you can't see when you're on the ground. The same with being on a high mountain and a vista and a great view, or being in a hot air balloon. You're seeing a lot of things that you never saw before, or at least from that perspective. It would be like what's called a bird's eye view, right? Did you ever hear that phrase? I'm getting a bird's eye view of this. Well, a bird flies higher than we are usually, right? We walk on the earth, a bird flies up in the sky. And so if a bird is looking around, it is seeing so much more than we are seeing on the ground. So a bird's eye view is a view from a high angle, just like a bird is seeing. It's an overall view of something to look at. So when we're looking down from on high, we can see so much more than what we're seeing on the ground. So when I think of bird's eye view and that phrase, I do think of God who looks at this big picture. You know, God gave us life, and He knows us from the beginning of our lives to the end of our lives. We only see one day at a time. But God, in His magnificence and in His knowledge, sees everything. He gets the bird's eye view. Well, it's pretty amazing and intimidating to realize that God sees everything. Here's some scriptures that tell us what God sees. From Job 28:24, He sees from one end of the earth to the other. He views everything in the world. Yes, God is watching, and God holds us accountable, and that can feel a little intimidating at times, can it? Because Proverbs 15:3 says, "The eyes of the Lord are everywhere. They watch those who are evil and those who are good." Job 34:21 says, "His eyes see how people live. He watches every step they take." Hebrews 4:13, "Nothing God created is hidden from Him. His eyes see everything, and He will hold us responsible for everything we do." Houston, He will hold us responsible for everything we do. That's exactly right. And that's not a bad thing, is it? Especially if we are His children and if we are doing what He wants us to do. There is reason for hope. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not be afraid, I am with you. Do not be terrified. I am your God. I will make you strong and help you. I will hold you safe in my hands. I always do what is right." So here's what I see. God sees all of our days, and He says, "Hey, I'm going to help you through your days. I'm watching you, and I'm ready to help you." What a great God. Psalm 139, you might have heard this scripture before, but it tells us what God sees in us. "Lord, you have seen my heart. You know all about me. You know when I sit down and when I get up. You know what I'm thinking, even though you are far away. You know when I go out to work and when I come back home. You know exactly how I live. Lord, even before I speak a word, you know all about it. You are all around me, behind me, in front of me. You hold me safe in your hand. I'm amazed at how well you know me. It's more than I can understand." Now, if I were an astronaut, and I'm not, this is a fake helmet here, you can see that. But if I were an astronaut, and if I were looking at the Earth from a bird's eye view, I would be amazed that God has made all of this and all of everything around so big, so fantastic, and yet He knows me as a person. He made me, and He knows you as a person, He made you, and He's going to hold you in His hand because He sees the big picture of your life. So let's trust God for our lives today, okay? Don't be afraid. God is holding us. He knows all, and He sees all. What a great God we serve. I hope that gives you joy, and I hope that gives you peace. Have a great day.